Hello and welcome. My name is Eliza and this is Tactile Eliza. I like to make things and today I'll be showing you a few of my knitting projects that I've got on the go and one crochet, and it'll be my third knitting podcast, so I'm still very new to it. I have a few finished projects, a few whips and also a few acquisitions to show you today, so we'll just get stuck into it. At the end of my last video, I was showing you two balaclavas that I had made for my friend's sister, and I gave them to her. She chose the real mohair fluffy knitted one that I preferred. I'll put a picture in here. She has it now and she's going to go to Canada in I think like 5 days or something, so she will bring it with her, I think. And we were at Meredith Music Festival together and she was wearing it then. It looked really cute. Got lots of compliments. But I still have this one that is, both of those were like 95% finished because I hadn't blocked them and I hadn't woven in the ends. But this one is also finished now, which I don't know, I'll just give away to someone else because I don't like it that much for me. You'll notice that this is the only crochet project because I don't think that I like crochet, which I'm sorry if you're a crocheter. I like it for some things like coasters or dish things, or just maybe not for garments. Anyway, pretty cute. The other thing I had on the go last time was the cotton jumper, and it's made out of this Patterns cotton blend, 50% acrylic, 50% cotton. I got a sweater quantity, well, more than a sweater quantity because I've got this left over from an op shop, which was such a steal. And I finished that one. I actually finished weaving in the ends just this morning because I wanted to have it done for this video, but I've been wearing it around with the ends not weaved in for a little while. I think last time I was up to about here on the body and I decided to frog down because the stitches were really uneven on when I went to just going back and forward, not in the round. And then I rigged back to about here. I did a little bit more and then I decided it was going to be huge. Like, it looked enormous. I wanted to be slouching and oversized, but it was just, I think, a bit borderline obscene how big I'd made it. So I just actually frogged the whole thing and started again. And I'm glad I did because I think it does fit quite nice. I'll quickly try it on, but it's so hot. I don't want to have it on for very long. I like the color. It's just a really easy thing to throw over. It's quite boxy. One thing that I did mess up is that one of the arms is about 1 inch longer than the other. So at some point I will fix that up. But for the meantime, I've just been wearing it and like no one really knows. And often just have them rolled up anyway. So I'll put in the description what pattern I used, but ended up going pretty rogue and changing it quite a bit. Like with the sleeves, I did a I-cord edge. It's definitely not the best knitting, like there's a few not great bits and like that is a different dye lot to that. But on the whole, I think it serves a really good purpose and fills a hole in my wardrobe, so happy with this. My hair is crazy after I pulled that over my head. Anyway, the other thing that I finished recently is a beanie that I made for a Christmas present for my cousin who's going to Norway this year. And I thought she would be able to wear it all cozy. But I don't have it with me and I didn't take a photo before I gave it to her. I just have these yarn that I use. So it was a brioche stitch beanie with these 3 colors. It was this all the way around and then I sort of alternated between the 2 of those because I didn't have that much. I'm really glad, like I've only got this much left of that yarn. So it was a good way of using up some scraps. I have a little swatch, but it did look a bit different to this. This has a few mistakes in the brioche, but it looked kind of like that. That's the best I can show you. This yarn's really soft too. It's nice. and she seemed to like it, which is always a plus. So they're my only finished objects, lots of hats. And now on to my works in progress. As I said, it's been quite warm here, it's summer, and so I've been focusing a lot on cotton projects. This is one that I've just been a bit rogue about. It's some yarn that I got in the stash of my grandma that was just already in a piece, but I think it was for a child, so I frogged it and started to make this, how am I going to show it? Started to make this top, but I'm just freehanding it and it's so messy. I think I'm going to have to undo it a little bit. I think, so I want it to be really low back and then kind of high at the top. So this is the front. And then just some short little sleeves and then the sleeves going up from the back. So sorry, it's so hard to show you. That would be sort of like the back sleeve attached to that, like that, kind of. But I think I made the back too droopy and it's gonna like fold over, which I don't love, but I don't think I'm gonna like start again. It's not that precious to me. It's just like something to have on the go. And my friend was like, why are you using those colors? You don't wear yellow and you don't like pink. Having said that, I'm wearing pink right now, but this is with lots of other colors. I was like, I don't know. I just felt like looking like a surf lifesaver or something. Just using up this yarn that I got from my grandma, my Oma actually. The stripes are just random as well. No rhyme or reason, just I feel like changing the colour, so I'll just do it now. I was knitting this at Meredith as well, so it was an easy thing just to, not too big, ball up and pop in my bag. So there's that, and it's like pretty close to being done. I just need to do the other side of the strap, but I think I got a little bit, I was just a bit put off by the fact that it's just all a bit messy and not my best knitting. And the fact that this other project that I'm about to show you has been taking up a lot of my time because I like it a lot more. And that is this thing. The pattern is the Halevik. Sorry, my Aussie accent. I'm butchering that. The Halevik crossover blouse. And in the pattern, I'll put a picture in. It does interchanging two colors, and the stitch makes it kind of look like a bit of a check, sort of herringbone, is that what it's called? I can't remember, but you'll see. And I wanted to, again, use up some cotton that I already had in stash. I just often pick up balls or whatnot from the op shop or second hand. So I actually didn't have enough of any two colors to make this with. So instead I've gone with 4 colors. I'll show you. So I have this sort of changing white and brown, and then a pure white, which is more of like a creamy white, and then this sort of what do you call it, mossy, it has a bit of a khaki yellowy undertone, and then this sort of more deep sagey color. So I'm sort of interchanging these colors along. So there's sort of 2 colors, and then it's green and white, but using up as much as I can from the stash. And it's coming along. I've got what is that, maybe 10 centimeters, maybe a little bit more, 13 down the side. I think I want to get to another 15 or so to make it long enough, and then a little bit on the arms. I don't think I'll make the arms quite as they're quite voluminous on the pattern, but I think I won't do that. So you can kind of see there's sort of the white and then a green, and then the browny white and then another green. But because I only have, like, I'm kind of freaking out because I only have a tiny bit of this left, and obviously I've got quite a bit more knitting to do, and I guess that's just what you do, the price you pay for trying to use up the stash. but I don't want to buy 2 more greens because then I'm going to end up with more yarn. So I know what this is Morrison Sons, so I can definitely buy this again first hand, new, even though I got the second hand originally. But I don't know what this is. So what I've been doing at the bottom is doing like white and then the khaki green and then white and then the moss green and then white and then the moss green again. So it's like khaki, moss, moss, khaki, moss, moss. And then I think I'll try and fade out the khaki. But you can't tell that much, I don't think, because it's all sort of mottled, and because the ombre sort of brown and white is through it anyway. It's not like a firm pattern. I don't know how to describe it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Obviously I would not wear it with this dress, but you get the idea. One thing I also will note is that it seems to be a little bit lower in the bust than I thought it was going to be. I don't know if I made a mistake there, or maybe when I block it and do the I-cord edge it'll come in a little bit more, but yeah, I think it's really cute. I think this is probably also probably the most technical pattern, as in stitch pattern, I've done on a whole garment as well, so bustles. Yeah, I'm really enjoying knitting that, and I've been knitting this a lot as I've been with my family and traveling around all the corners of Victoria over this holiday period. That's definitely been taking up the most of my time. I do have 2 other whips that I'll just quickly go through because I've not worked on them at all in the last little while. They've just been sitting there. But I've got this, what is it? Like, it's going to be a dress, I think, like a tunic. It's made out of this yarn from Spotlight that I had some leftovers for that I wanted to use up. And I was kind of thinking I might wear this on New Year's because it's kind of glittery, but it's going to be way too hot. So I'm not going to do that. But this jumper, I've done some slip stitches, detail intermittently around it. Just you know, kind of loosey-goosey sleeve, and the plan was to do the other sleeve and then just keep going down until I ran out of yarn. So it might be like more of a tunic, or I don't know, a short kind of mini dress jumper. I've been not very motivated about this because I do find the fabric a little itchy, and the thought of wearing this probably with not much underneath is not really appealing to me. But I might pick it up again when it gets a little bit cooler. And then the last whip, I think, yes, is this other knit cotton top that I've actually started and finished this a lot of times because I wasn't sure. I have this sort of light green and a white cotton, and I wasn't sure how I wanted to integrate the colors and the pattern. So I tried it multiple times, and really I should just do a swatch because it's much smaller and quicker, but I've not done that. So anyway, that's just sitting on the needles. I think also because I've got the other white and green piece, I'm like not sure if I'll continue this. I might just frog it and do something else with the yarn. Okay, I think that's all I've been working on recently. Hasn't been that much because I feel like the end of the year was really intense with work and social stuff. But I did get a few acquisitions, a few little treats. The first of which was for my birthday, which is in November, and my gorgeous friend got me this most beautiful project bag. And I don't really have any dedicated project bags except for this little one that I got from Retro Saria, which has the granny knitting with the tattoos knitting on it, which I love. But this is obviously really thin material, and my pointy needles often actually like point out of it. So it's a cute bag, but it's not like really made for purpose. So she got me this one, and I just think it's so nice. Like, I've often been like, oh, they're so sweet, but I just can't really justify buying it myself because it's like, oh, I'll just throw it in a tote bag, like any old bag. And you know, for a while I was very much on the bandwagon of just use a tote bag. But I think these are so nice. And little carry bag, it's really sturdy, my needles don't poke through. It's a really good size as well. It's by Otty Bear Designs, which I hadn't heard of before, but very cute. Thank you, Kat. And then for Christmas, my dad, ever the supporter of all my hobbies and interests, got me 3 more sets of the Knit Pro interchangeable needles. I have this set with like the wooden, I think they call it symphony or something. It's pronounced really weird. And then I was trying to say it in the yarn shop. I was like, symphony. And they were like, oh, symphony. I was like, that's not how you spell symphony. Anyway, I have these wooden ones, but the very thin ones, the 3.5, the 3.7 and the 3.25 all had one break. And so I thought it'd be best to get the metal ones, which I've actually really been enjoying knitting on as well. I have been seeing so much content on Instagram on the Chiagu bandwagon, and I was so tempted to buy some of them, but I resisted. Did not get swept up in the Instagram hype. I'm sure they're amazing needles, but like I have this whole set and it just didn't make sense for me to buy or like invest in a whole new set of interchangeable needles when like these work really well. I will say like what I don't love about them is like that sort of bent and not bending back. Apparently the Chiagu ones don't have any memory, so they like the cord doesn't just stays straight. Apparently, not use them. But on the whole, like these needles do me very well. So all that to say that I got 3 more interchangeable needles. Thanks, Dad. And then when I was staying with my grandma, she was doing a little bit of clear out of her yarn stash. And I got just another little bag of random little scraps, which I won't show you, but you get the idea. I quite like this sort of chartreuse colour, and there's some soft yarn in there. Don't have any plans for any of this. I do not need more yarn, but I picked them up anyway because otherwise she said she was going to get rid of them, and I was like, no, I'll have them. And then the last thing is, so my grandparents live in Bendigo, and we went on a few little drives around, one of which was to Castlemaine, and they have the most beautiful bookshop there. Like if you go to Castlemaine, go to the bookshop. And I could have spent so much longer in there, but I picked up the 52 Weeks of Accessories, which I've seen around in pretty much every yarn store, and I've always resisted, but I guess maybe I was just in the Christmas spirit, and it was like, this yarn shop's so nice, I want to buy something, so I picked this up. And I think I've always been a bit resistant because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to buy, I don't love all of the patterns. There's some that I definitely don't love, like I'm just looking at the back here, like the headbands, like I'm just not into a knitted headband personally. But I feel like there's enough in this book to justify. It was $37. So if I make 3 or 4 patterns, it'll be worth it. And I'm sure I will with 52 in there. The other reason I wanted to get this is because I have so many, just like 1 or 2 balls of yarn, or like the scraps that I've just shown you. And in 2026, I have a big goal of trying to get through as much yarn as I can. So I feel like accessories is going to be the way to go. Anywho, enough yapping on from me. I'd love to know what you're working on in the comments if you wish to share, and I'll see you in the next one.